This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, November 24. In Squiz Kids Today, La Nina is back. Adele's teacher tribute. LeBron's on-court boo-boo and Squizzy the news hound strikes again. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
If it's unusually wet where you live and cooler than normal for this time of year, you might want to get used to it, after the Bureau of Meteorology yesterday declared we were in the midst of a La Nina weather system, which is expected to make this summer a very wet and rainy one. Good news for ducks, not so great for beach-loving, Christmas holiday-making humans. La Nina is a Spanish word meaning little girl, and it's also the name given to a weather system that brings lots of rain over an extended period of time. El Niño, which is the Spanish for little boy, is the name given to the weather system that brings hot and dry weather conditions. It's the second year in a row our summer has been interrupted by a La Nina weather system. The last time that happened was back in 2011, when Queensland experienced some of the worst floods in recent history. Now, to get all meteorological on you for a moment, La Nina occurs when there are cooler than average waters in the Australian part of the Pacific Ocean and warmer waters over near South America. That results in stronger than average winds from the equator, pushing more moisture over northern and eastern Australia. The Weather Bureau says that La Nina might not be quite as wet as the previous ones we've seen, so that's good. But either way, if you live on the east coast of Australia and you haven't included a new pair of gumboots or a brolly on your Santa's list, you might want to rethink it.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in London, in England, where pop singer Adele has been reminded, in a very public way, of the importance of teachers in all of our lives. During a concert, in a concert hall packed with English celebrities and broadcast on television, Adele was asked by a member of the audience if there had been one person in her life who had inspired her love of words and music. Adele replied by telling the story of a high school English teacher, Mrs. McDonald, who used to get her classes singing and dancing and made Adele fall in love with words. Then, as a surprise, Mrs. McDonald appeared from the back of the audience and came up on stage, at which point Adele started crying with happiness. And because it's a Wednesday and we all need a lift to get us through to Friday, I've stuck a link to video of it all in today's episode notes. You're welcome.
Sport time.
There were ugly scenes yesterday in the NBA when one of the best-known basketball players in the world, LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers, was involved in an on-court scuffle with Detroit Pistons opponent Isaiah Stewart. Both players have been suspended over a fight that broke out between the pair during the game. It's LeBron's first suspension in the 19 years he has played professional basketball. He's going to miss the Lakers game against the New York Knicks and be fined almost $400,000 for the part he played in the dust-up. For his part, Isaiah Stewart will miss the next 2 games and pay a fine of over $60,000. Focus on the ball, people, not the player. And if you get angry out there on the sports field, rise above. Always be the better person. This is the segment where Squizzy the news hound sniffs out fishy stories on the internet because, repeat after me, we can't always believe everything we read online. And this week, Squizzy is in the Northern Territory, where low rates of COVID vaccination in Indigenous communities is being blamed in part on misinformation that's swirling about on social media. Squizzy has found lots of false claims on social media about the vaccines. And it's just another example about how misinformation online can have serious health consequences in real life. Squizzy is now sniffing around the top end furiously, reminding people to stop and think about whether the information they're getting is from a reliable source before finally checking it against a source that you can trust. Thanks, Squizzy.
Time for the Squiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the weather system that brings lots of rain? That's right, it's La Niña. Question number 2. Name the basketball star suspended for fighting on the court. That's right, it's LeBron James. Question number 3. Which British singer was surprised on stage by her teacher? Yeah, it was Adele.
Shout outs.
It's November 24. Big night tonight. It's the first night of the AFL draft, where clubs choose up-and-coming players for next year's competition. And it's the ARIA Awards tonight, Australian music's Night of Nights. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Emily from Craigburn, Zane from Hackett, Millie from Harrington Park, John and Alexandra from Ivanhoe, Lorelei from Melton, Kaylin from Mansfield and Nat from Lane Cove. And belated birthday shout-outs today go to Izzy and Zach from Perth. Today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 3-4S with Mrs. Anderson at St Thomas More Primary School in Mount Eliza, Class 4T at Cherrybrook Public School and Class 4S at East Ryde Public School. To Taya at Good Shepherd Catholic Primary School in Canberra, who sends a shout out to her Class 5A and teacher Mrs. Abbott. Plus a shout out to the senior room at Barnawartha Primary School, who are very busy rehearsing for the school musical production Rock Bottom. Your principal, Ms. V, is very proud. Lastly, a special shout out to Jackson, Inara, Haley and Lucas in Year 6 at Redeemer Lutheran School in Nuriupta, who put together an excellent PowerPoint presentation on the importance of being respectful towards other people's cultures and the clothes they wear. Well done, guys. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.